Hi everyone, Adam Zolty here on behalf of the Women's Rugby Show, and it's now time for another talking point. The hot topic for this week, certainly today, has been the first selection of the Red Roses, England women, in preparation for their first Women's Six Nations match of this year against Ireland. Now, before I get into it, I'm not going to go through the entire squad because there is just so much quality there. I don't think, not really need to critique it, to be honest. I mean, like I said, there's experience, there's youth, there's pace, there's power, aggression, guile. So there's so much quality in there. I'm not here to rip the squad apart. We're just here to talk about it a little bit. And just one small caveat is that obviously we don't know the situation here on the Women's Rugby Show with injuries. So again, some of these selections could be, there may be a couple of niggles with some of the players that have been left out, but you know, this is called talking points. So we're here to talk some of the points of the squad. Now, again, like I said, don't need to go into a lot of detail. There are some names that are absolutely going to be nailed on. Obviously, the likes of Hunter and Katie Daly-McLean. But also, if you sort of go towards the backs, I mean, Kelly Smith is the top try scorer in the Tyrrell Premier 15s at the moment. She's electric pace. She possesses electric pace, excuse me. So, you know, it would be, you know, you'd be silly not to include her. And Simon Middleton obviously has, and the likes of Jess Breach as well, who is just an absolute world-class winger and has come over from the 7 setup. So those you can say, and then of course, you know, Sarah McKenna as well at fullback. You know, they just bring a great attacking threat, and defensively as well to any side. And what is slightly surprising for me, at least anyway, is obviously Emily Scarrett, again a world-class player. You can understand why she's in the side despite having just come back from injury. But one thing that is slightly had me raising my eyebrows a bit was Tatiana Hurd, who starts in centre in place of the likes of Rachel Burford. Now, Rachel Burford, we know what she offers. She's solid, she's got great hands, defensively she's sound. And Tatiana Hurd she's had, you know, quite a decent few weeks leading up to the Six Nations. I wouldn't, at this stage, very, very talented player. But, you know, I'm maybe slightly surprised that she's starting ahead of Rachel Burford. Burford's not even in the squad, it seems, for the match against Ireland. But we know what Hurd can bring. She's got pace. She's good in the tackle. So I think there's an opportunity there for her to really stake her claim. And maybe, you know, who knows, continue that run in the side throughout the tournament. Going into the forwards, it's a slightly different story. Oh, sorry. One thing I do want to touch on also is the likes of Leanne Riley starting at scrum half. Now, this surprised me because you know, she's not the most inexperienced scrum half. I think there are a couple of other in terms of international caps, obviously, in the side. But you really expect Natasha Mo Hunt to be starting. You know, she's almost got 50 caps, and she's, you know, absolutely quality player. But I guess you can look at it and say, well, she's also come in from the 7 setup. I believe I heard an interview recently on the BBC Radio 1 Rugby Union, BBC Radio Rugby Union Scrum Half podcast, saying that she was sort of still getting used to being back in the 15-a-side game. She's been back for a couple of weeks. Maybe that's affected Middleton's decision to select her. But anyway, so yeah, look, you know, Leanne Riley has had a really, really good season with Harlequins. So it's not that much of a surprise to see her in. But yeah, well done to her. And it's definitely going to be an interesting Six Nations with those two battling it out for the number 9 shirt. Going into the pack, and this is slightly, you know, again, not surprising because I'm sure that a lot of these players will have a chance to rotate throughout the tournament. But there are some big names, some important names missing for England. The likes of Vicky Fleetwood is going to be a massive loss for England. She's out injured. Zoe Aldcroft, who also, hasn't got too many caps, but she's also a very strong player. But coming into the side, it's a little bit surprising to see, you know, you've got 1 or 2 players that haven't even got caps in the double figures. The likes of Hannah Bottoman, who's starting. She's only got 5 caps, but man, what a season she is having. She deserves all of those caps, and she deserves, in my opinion, to be playing or starting every game in this tournament. She's been absolutely brilliant this season, Hannah Bottoman. And there's, Sarah Beckett, who's only got one cap. She's returning from injury. She goes straight into the side, and she's only got one cap. You'd think they'd have a bit more experience in the back row. But I guess with the likes of Fleetwood out, it gives a chance for others to stake their claim. But again, you think maybe, why, if you've not got Rachel Burford, who's got pushing 100 caps, you've not got Vicky Cornborough's not even in the side. She's got almost 50 caps. So it's interesting to see that blend of inexperience mixed with experience. And I think there's going to be one player who is definitely going to have an impact. One player, she is going to make a huge difference when she comes on, and that is Bryony Cleal, who has just been having an outstanding season. She's in great form for Sarries, and I am pretty sure that when she comes on to the pitch, and she will get her first cap, probably against Ireland, then she is going to have a major impact, and it is going to affect the Red Roses in nothing but positive way. So it's an exciting squad. As I said, I'm not going to pick it apart. I'm just going to look forward to what is going to be undoubtedly a sensational tournament, hopefully, for England and the rest of the home nations. So let's just hope that England can bring home the crown. Unless, of course, you're Scottish, and then Scotland, and then if you're Welsh, then Wales, and if you're Irish, then Ireland. But whatever happens, I hope you enjoy this Six Nations.